Everyone, and welcome in to our coverage of the quarterfinals. Joining us, Roger Federer. Good
Hello.
to see you.
Thank you very much.
He just snuck in out of nowhere.
All of a sudden I'm here.
Brad Gilbert, Darren Cahill, you know these two. You also know Roger. That was quite a match yesterday. We're just talking about you getting up off the mat down 2 sets. How'd you regroup?
Look, it was tough, but I guess on clay in particular with 5 sets you do get some time sometimes and a few lives, you know, along the way to find your rhythm and you find your way back into a match. And all I tried to do was make it as hard as possible for Juan Martín to actually just get out of the match and win in 3 or 4 sets. And I tried to make it as physical as possible beginning of the third because we had a tough second set. And he got a bit tired, maybe his knee was hurting him a bit, and nice for him to finish the match because I really thought that, you know, midway through the fourth he was maybe going to retire, but he was still in the lead. That's what made him dangerous till the very end. Rain could have come, he could have regrouped and still beaten me. So all these things were on my mind, and but I stayed tough mentally and physically, and it was a great match for me at the end.
I might go to some of the highlights of that match because talk about the court also on court Suzanne Lenglen's a little bit slow. If we go to the highlight, the first highlight here is in the tiebreak in the second set. And this is the type of tennis we haven't seen Del Potro play for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, he was really playing a great second set tiebreaker. I mean, I have to say I should have probably won the second set. I was up a break 3-2, then had 4-all break point. I missed a forehand by, you know, a short margin, and then next thing you know, he plays a great breaker, and I was down 2 sets to love. So it was tough.
Did you sense something early in the third set that either he was getting tired or he had the issue with the knee? Because all of a sudden, you know, the shots that he was getting in the first 2 sets, he was nowhere near.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously he let go, particularly at the 4th set, or maybe even the 3rd set. I don't quite remember. He started to let go once I had the break, and that was for me important to get off a good start in both sets. But I did feel he was a bit slow, particularly when I was serving to his forehand side when he had to push with his left knee. Or I just made it up and said, okay, this is his problem. That's what I'm doing a bit, and I'll try to take advantage.
I like that. You just made it up, and I like that.
Exactly.
But he made a big push early in the 5th. He had a couple of break points in that first game. But how important is it for you to dig out of a hole like that in the Grand Slam going forward?
Look, it's huge. I mean, it really is a nice feeling coming through any 5-setter you win. You've probably been there coming back from 2 sets to love, and it's just I don't know, it gives you confidence, it gives you, you know, a great sense for where your mind is, that you're willing to dig deep, willing to stay out there, and then physically I feel really good today. That's why I'm coming here to practice and do some press, actually.
Nice. Now, when you're playing your match, you know, when they put up that scoreboard in the other court, do you glance up at that other scoreboard and see kind of, uh-oh, what's going on up there?
Well, yes, they were showing it too often. That also made me upset at one point because they were even showing it, I think, once just before the tiebreaker or once even during the tiebreaker. And I was like, I mean, can you just please switch it off? I mean, the fans were almost...
Oh, you asked the umpire to stop?
Yeah, because it was just too much, you know. I mean, I agree. You want to inform the fans on Suzanne Lenglen court about what's happening on center court, and we did hear the cheers. It reminded me a bit of golf, you know, when you hear a guy hit a good shot, it affects you. That's kind of how we felt, I think, on Suzanne Lenglen court yesterday.
We saw you holler out. I think you said, shut up. To the crowd, which was very unusual. Darren said it, you know, I know you two go back to when you were a teenager. He said, that's the old Roger. Is that what you were responding to when the fans were cheering for Tsonga?
No, that was a particular moment. I hit a slice. It was floating for a long time, and this one lady just goes, out. And I was like, it's not out yet. It's going to be in. And I ended up losing the point, and I just got upset because it was a big point in the tiebreaker. And, of course, it didn't really distract me because the point went on, and Juan Martín just played a really good point, and that was just pure frustrations, you know. And
he did seem to be a little more frustrated yesterday throughout the entire match. Maybe because of Del Potro's play as well, but also maybe the conditions, tough to get through that court. Yeah,
I mean, I think conditions are playing slower this year. I'm a bit not frustrated, but I think it's particularly slow. I was serving, you know, 125s on the line, and Juan Martín was just in the back, just going bang, whack, right back on the baseline, no problem. I was like, I mean, that's not supposed to how this is supposed to be. When you hit a big serve, you should be rewarded for it, right? And I didn't feel that way, and I just thought, okay, every point's going to be the same. We're going to be rallying, and one guy will probably make a mistake at one point, and it was hard to do, you know, use that for variation. But maybe in hindsight, it was the best thing for me to happen, that it was actually slow. So the moment that he slowed down physically, I was able to take advantage of it and make him really work hard. But conditions are tough here, and maybe play in favor a bit of Rafa, you know, who likes these conditions a lot.
Were you a bit surprised that your third time you've been out on Lenglen, would you say that's much slower court than Chatrier?
Maybe a little bit. I don't want to say crazy slower, but I prefer to play on Chatrier, whereas in the beginning of my career, I used to struggle on Chatrier because of all the sort of the big court you have in the back. It's like misleading. All of a sudden, you start playing from further back in the court, whereas on Langland, I have a hard time sometimes seeing the ball with the backdrop. But I'm happy I came through my 3 matches here on Langland, and I get back on Chatrier for the next match.
Well done.
Congratulations.